Hello, everyone, back with another list. I was hoping to get these lists out sooner. I've had car trouble this week. I think I need to get a new car. The bottom of my car is like completely rusted and falling apart, and I'm scared to drive it. Um, so it's been a little stressful this week looking for new cars, having to bring the car in. So there's just been a lot going on. But I'm finally getting to some more of my lists. This list is going to be just movies that I'm really excited for in 2025, for one reason or another, which I will discuss now here. So keep in mind, I don't necessarily know for sure what movies are 100% coming out. I probably am missing some movies on this list. I think I have 17 in here. Um, so yeah, just keep in mind I probably don't have everything in here that I want, but I don't know for sure. So let's get into talking about these movies, starting with Mickey 17 from director Bong Joon-ho, who last did Parasite, and that was my second favorite movie of 2019 behind Avengers Endgame. I'm really excited for this one. It's a weird science fiction dark comedy with Robert Pattinson. Um, I've kind of watched the trailer, but wasn't fully paying attention to it because I just don't want to know anything about this movie. Similar to what Parasite was, like I just don't feel like I need to know anything about this movie. I'm going to see it. I'm gonna probably go see it in IMAX. It's been like delayed like four times. It switched release dates like four times or something. I don't care. I'm excited for this one. I just cannot wait for this weird, interesting science fiction dark comedy. So really excited for Mickey 17. Love Bong Joon Ho. Parasite is freaking fantastic. I just rewatched that again this year. It's so good. So I'm so excited for Mickey 17. Next up, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. They claim this is going to be the last Mission Impossible movie. I don't know about that. We'll see. Money talks. Although the last movie didn't do so great. I also didn't love the last movie. The use of AI in the last movie just didn't work for me. I think it was a little too long. Um, and I don't know. I didn't love the last one quite as much as I wanted to. It was one of the weaker Mission Impossible movies, honestly. But I'm gonna believe that this one's better. I think part of the problem with part one is they kind of shot their load. Excuse my expression there, in the trailer by showing Tom Cruise jumping off the cliff, and then they showed the behind the scenes of the IMAX, of filming that scene, which honestly looked better than it did in the movie. It looked cooler than it did in the movie. Sorry, Chester is once again being a turd. Um, so yeah, I think that was part of the problem. Is just they kind of spoiled the surprise for us with that big stunt. This movie, they showed the behind the scenes like 2 years ago before Top Gun Maverick or whatever, showing Tom Cruise on the side of the red plane or whatever, the red and yellow planes that are in the movie, and they kind of show parts of it in the trailer. I don't know. I love quite a few of the other Mission Impossible movies, so I have to be excited for this one, even though I did not love the last one. So Mission Impossible Dead or Final Reckoning. Yeah, we'll see. I'm glad they got rid of the part one and part two thing too. Yeah. Wicked for Good. I wasn't excited for Wicked Part One. Ended up really enjoying it. I didn't think it was as great as everyone else is saying it is, but still a really good movie. And I am excited for Part Two. I want to see where this ends. I know nothing about the musical, so I have no clue how it ends. Um, I hear that the second part of the play is weaker than the first part. So we'll see what happens. Not much more else to say about this one. I was just really surprised by Wicked Part 1 that I'm kind of excited for Wicked Part 2. And I'm glad musicals are kind of making a comeback. That's awesome. Next up, Freakier Friday. This is a movie I'm kind of concerned about in the sense that it has been 20. Has it been 20 years? 21 years? I don't know. It's been a long time since we saw the original Freaky Friday. Pretty much all the entire original cast is coming back, which makes me feel a little better. But at the same time, we've seen a lot of these sequels come out 20 years later that just haven't worked. I love Jamie Lee Curtis so much that I just don't care what she's in. I'm going to see it. I think part of the reason why I didn't hate Borderlands as much as everyone else in the world is because Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and I just enjoy Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of one of my weak spots, but I'm excited for Freakier Friday. We'll see how it is. Um, I don't know much about it, but I'm excited for it just because Jamie Lee Curtis is in it and because I love the first Freaky Friday so much. Next up, Fantastic Four: First Steps. I haven't quite given up on Marvel yet, but at the same time, I'm not as super excited as I usually would have been 5 years ago. It Another Fantastic Four movie. We've never really gotten a good Fantastic Four movie. I hope this movie is good. Who's directing? Matt Shankman, the guy who did WandaVision, is directing this one. So I hope it's good. Um, I'm not like over the moon excited for this one, but I am going to definitely see it week one. But I see everything week one a lot of times, so that's not saying much for me. But yeah, I am excited for this. I want to see it. I'm not over the moon about it, but I would definitely hope that Fantastic Four First Steps is really good. Um, yeah, that's about all I got to say about it. Let's make a good Fantastic Four movie. That's all I hope. I just want it to be a good Fantastic Four movie. It doesn't even have to be great. Next up, also another Marvel movie, Thunderbolts. Uh, I like all these cast members on this poster. I've liked them in previous movies that I want to see more of them together. At the same time, the trailer that I think there's been one or I don't know. I think there's one trailer that I've seen is fine. I'm not like over the moon excited about it, but at the same time, again, similar to Fantastic Four, the first steps, it's got such a good cast, and I want Marvel to get back to what they were. Some of the things they're doing, some of the decisions they're making, make me not as excited, but I hope the Marvel's Suicide Squad eventually can work out. I really do hope it does. Um, but again, not holding out hope on this one. I'm not going to be surprised if it's not good. Coming up is Ballerina from the world of John Wick. I heard there was a lot of behind the scenes issues with this, and the director of the last three John Wick movies had to come in and kind of reshoot it. That's scary to me. I believe this was actually supposed to come out last year due to the strikes and the behind the scenes issues. Got pushed to 2025. I I want to be super excited for it. I didn't love John Wick 4 the way a lot of people did. I still really enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but I didn't love it like I wanted to. And I don't know. I'm hoping this movie's great. I want this movie to be great. I love Ana de Armas. The little bit of time she had in No Time to Die was spectacular, and I hope she's freaking spectacular in this movie as well. So a lot of these movies, like I am anticipating, but like I'm also kind of worried about at the same time. I have mixed feelings about. Also with this one, The Conjuring: The Last Rites. Supposedly this is supposed to be the last Conjuring movie, at least with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Um, do we know any of the? It doesn't even have a plot yet or anything. I liked the third one. I haven't gone back to like rewatch it a whole bunch, but I did like the third one. It went a little loony towards the end there, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. Um, I'm hoping that this is a good movie too. I believe the director of the last one is doing it again, which we'll see. Um, I will never forget in 2013 seeing the first Conjuring at the drive-in. First movie that played was Prisoners. Conjuring followed it. And I just did not want to get out of my car. I was terrified to get out of my car. I peed in a bottle that night at the drive-in because I was terrified to get out of my car. Um, and I just kind of want to feel that feeling again. The second Conjuring kind of did it for me. Not quite as good as the first. Third one was not as good as the second or the third, but still enjoyable enough for me. I hope this one's enjoyable as well. It doesn't have to be amazing. It just has to be good at least. Next up, How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version. Another one I'm kind of skeptical about. I'm glad at least the trilogy is over, unlike Moana, that is literally just had a sequel to Moana 2, and now we're getting a live action within the next year. What I think it's 2026, we're getting live action. They're filming the live action right now. I think that's crazy. I'm glad at least this trilogy is over. It is a great trilogy. I hope they do something somewhat different. I hope they don't do what the live action Lion King did and just made it shot for shot the exact same movie. From the trailer I saw, that's kind of what they're doing, and that makes me But at the same time, I love How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm excited to see it just because I want to see it. It looks beautiful already so far, so that's giving me some good hope. We'll see. We'll see. Again, a lot of these movies I am excited for, but I'm just nervous about. Zootopia 2. The first Zootopia came out in 2016, and I loved it. I think it's underrated. That freaking sloth scene is so flippin' good. I hope they can recapture the magic with the second one. I loved all the characters in the first one, so I hope they can bring those characters back and do something interesting and new with the characters. I hope that they since it's been almost what 10 years. It'll be 9 years this year since the first one came out. I hope they've had enough time to work on the story and they have a good story and they're putting it out because it is good. Not doing what Moana 2 did, where we were going to have a TV series and now we're just going to kind of throw it into a movie form. I hope that's not what they're doing. I believe there is or was supposed to be a Zootopia series, so I hope that's not what this was. Maybe I'm wrong, but I hope that's not the case. I hope this movie's fantastic. Again, love the first Zootopia. It's so good. Saw 11. Saw 10 was such a surprise. I went into it thinking it was going to be just another one of the Saw sequels, and it's arguably the best Saw movie we've gotten. I love that we are focusing on Tobin Bell this time, or last time around in Saw 10. I love that it had a good story behind it. You felt for Jigsaw, you felt for John Kramer, um, and there was essentially a villain to John Kramer. I thought it was great. I thought it was so much fun. Um, one of the best Saw movies. It really was, and it didn't. As much as it was still gore porn, it wasn't fully all gore porn. It had a story, and I hope Saw 11 continues with that. And I am very excited for this. I hope we get another good Saw. I hope it doesn't turn into one of the freaking just over convoluted sequels. Next up, movie I'm beyond excited for, Paddington in Peru, the third Paddington movie. It is a different director. I believe in England they've already gotten this movie. I heard it's not as good as the first two, but still really enjoyable. I just love these movies. These are such good movies to watch when you're having a bad day. Um, I know my buddy in Chicago didn't watch these movies for quite a while, and then he finally watched them from my Vudu, where I have my digital movies, and was so happy he did. He loves them so much now. They're such great movies and great example of kids movies that are for kids, but adults can 100% enjoy too and feel. And I'm just so excited for this movie. The cast has been so good in all three, or at least the first two movies. The cast in the third one is pretty much the returning cast and some newcomers that I really like. So Paddington 3, I hope it's really good. The first two are so good that I'm just holding out hope that it's going to be so good. Next up is Ari Aster's new movie, Edgington. I know nothing about this movie except that is Joaquin Phoenix dressed in like a police uniform. Um, Follows a small town New Mexico sheriff with higher aspirations. Emma Stone's in this, Austin Butler's in this, Pedro Pascal's in this. Um, just a great freaking cast. I did not love Ari Aster's last movie at all. But with Afraid, I thought that was absolutely terrible. I didn't love Hereditary as much as everyone else did. I loved Midsommar. So I'm hoping that this movie is great. I really am. We will see. Very hesitant, anticipated on this one, just because I love that he does unique, different, original things, but at the same time, like sometimes he goes a little too far with his movies, and I hope he doesn't go too far. I just want it to be a cool original movie, similar to what Midsommar was. Even though that movie does go a little too far at times, it does it in the right way. So I am excited for this one, but a little nervous just because it is Ari Aster. He doesn't always give me movies that I love. So Ari Aster's new movie, Edgington. 28 years later, I watched 28 Days Later during the pandemic in 2020. And 28 months later? I forget what it's called. The sequel. I remember watching both of them during the pandemic. Absolutely loving them. I'm so excited we got this trilogy now that we're gonna get this year. So glad Danny Boyle is coming back to direct it. I think it was shot entirely on an iPhone. That's interesting. And then Alex Garland, who wrote the first one, he's writer and director of Ex Machina, my favorite movie, or one of my favorite movies, 2015. Not my favorite. I think it's my second favorite. I'm glad he's coming back and writing. So I mean, I love this idea, and I love the idea of this outbreak and stuff. And like I said, I watched these during COVID, so it was an interesting time to watch those movies. And I'm going to be interested to watch it, 4 years after watching. That was the last time I watched both of them, and the first time, like I said, watching them. So I'm excited to see the sequel. It's got again another good cast: Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, Jack O'Connell, Ray Fiennes. Um, yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be crazy and awesome, and I'm just super excited. Next up, Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's last movie he did was Pinocchio, I believe, with a stop motion one, I believe, and I absolutely adored it. So I'm excited to see his spin on Frankenstein. I think it's going to be super cool and crazy. I think of Shape of Water, but with Frankenstein. I do love the original story of Frankenstein. I remember reading it in high school and really enjoying it. So I am excited to see this. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see how crazy and bombastic it can be. So definitely excited for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. What do we got next? Wake Up, Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. I love the first Knives Out from 2019. I really, really loved Glass Onion. I went and saw it in theaters. I drove 2 hours to go see it in theaters because I did not want to see it on Netflix. I hope they put this in theaters. I don't think it's going to. I hear behind the scenes that people are pissed off that it's not going to be in theaters at all. I hope that changes before then. But I have to be excited. I forget everyone in the cast. Josh O'Connor's in this. Kaylee Spaney's in it. Andrew Scott, Glenn Close, Kerry Washington, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Thomas Hayden Church. Great freaking cast. I am hoping like hell this is also awesome and we can have just an awesome trilogy of whodunits. Daniel Craig is so good in this role, and I want him to make these movies forever. Just yeah, so freaking excited. Next up, another Frankenstein movie, The Bride. Christian Bale will be playing the monster. I believe it's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. Penelope Cruz is in this. Annette Bening, Peter Skarsgård, her brother Jake Gyllenhaal, Julianne Hugh. How do you say her name? I don't know how you say her name. Good actress. Wait, she was in Harry Potter? Who was she in Harry Potter? Now I'm gonna have to look that up. Probably one of the extras or something. Anyways, The Bride. I am really excited for this. And I'm just reading this now. In 1930s, a lonely Frankenstein travels to Chicago. I love Chicago. We all know how much I love Chicago. If you've seen any of my videos, I love freaking Chicago. So I'm excited to see. I hope it's actually shot in Chicago. I know she shot The Dark Knight in Chicago. Oh my God, I hope it's actually in Chicago. I'm really excited to see this. Maggie Gyllenhaal, I haven't loved. I think she did that one movie back in 2021, the Netflix movie with Olivia Colman, the sister or something. I can't remember. I didn't love it. It was good, but I didn't love it. Great cast though. Her co-star from The Dark Knight, Christian Bale. I'm really excited for this one. And I'm excited for getting 2 Frankenstein movies this year. That's crazy. That's awesome. But yeah, that's the end of my list, guys. Stay tuned. I will have a list of movies that I'm worried about for 2025, and I'll explain why I'm worried about in that video. More videos to come. Might not be as consistent just because I am looking for a new car and stuff like that, and working and such like that. So do as much as I can here. Don't necessarily expect videos every day, especially since I've been posting 2 videos a day. Don't expect that necessarily, but I'm definitely going to be trying. So feel free to stay tuned for more. I will definitely have more coming. I hope you guys have yourself a great day. And hey, don't do anything I wouldn't do.